Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be standing here among amazing change makers, innovators who are shaping the future through creativity, science, and sustainable designs. When I received the invitation for this amazing event, that became first, it's a big question for me. Why am I even going there? Then I immediately thought this is exactly what my life has been about, innovation and disruption. So, because disruption is not always about technology, sometimes it's about courage, the courage to dream differently. So, who am I? I'm Jahnavi Dangeti. I'm 22-year-old from Palakolu. I'm a student pilot, analog astronaut, advanced scuba diver, a scientist astronaut candidate, and a speaker, STEM advocate. So, why is this dream? Why I want to go to space? So, let me take you through a personal journey of mine. So, my parents left me when I was 1 year old with my grandparents. So, I met them after 9 years. When they left me when I'm 1, they came back when I'm 9. And I couldn't even recognize who are they. So I grown up completely with my grandparents in Palakolu, listening to the bedtime stories about moon and a lady who lives on moon. And there is always, I used to live in a big imagination that moon is following me. So that's the biggest imagination that I believed in. When I questioned my parents why the moon is coming with me, they always used to tell me that maybe it wants you to be up there someday. So they didn't laugh at my question. They put a curiosity in my brain to chase the moon. And that's how the journey began. It began with the simple programs that is being organized by ISRO. So in 2019, I've grown in a place where people don't know the difference between astrology and astronomy. So when I tell them that I want to go to moon, imagine they used to think I'm the crazy dumb person ever. So they always say you're dreaming too big. But I always make sure to stay closer to what I want to achieve. That is being active in STEM. So in that case, I've been participated in ISRO World Space Week 2019, where I won first prize for a project. And that particular event happened from intermediate level to PhD level, and I won first place. So that's where I realized that opportunities doesn't come to us. We have to run behind them. And from then, it's never turning back. So then I became NASA citizen scientist by working on the telescope data that is being sent by NASA. So I've discovered 2 asteroids, and they turned into provisional discoveries. And that's how I became NASA citizen scientist. Then the turning point, during this COVID is the best time for me because I was sitting at home doing my engineering degree online and working on my passion 100%. So I was into different programs that is being organized by NASA, ISRO, and all the international events. Usually happens every year offline. But that time during COVID, it happened online. So I worked in multiple projects, including rovers, sustainable farming, hydroponics, and that's how I won a NASA International Awards. So this is International Air and Space Program, which has been organized by EXA at NASA facilities. So this program, they choose 60 students all over the world every year. And since 20 years, there were no Indians, and I'm the first Indian to be selected for this program, representing. So I was really honored to be there. And then comes analog astronaut mission. So a simple question, does anyone heard about analog astronaut missions, or does anyone know what an analog mission means? No, right? It's a very new topic for all of us. So analog missions are a bridge, or let's keep simple terminology. We simulate space on Earth. So 99% it's space, but 1%, which is gravity, it's not space. So human spaceflight began in 1960s with Yuri Gagarin, and he showed us that space is safe and we can go beyond Earth. And then comes with the challenges. So going to space is not just about pushing the Earth limit and going to stars. It's about pushing the human limits. There are equal challenges to reach space with the equal amount of research that we're doing. Like when we talk about the space flights, it always comes with radiation and heart-related issues and muscle issues, and mostly it has to deal with confinement, which will completely affect on our mental health. So there are so many exercises and programs that will help us to sustain in space physically, but mentally you have to be prepared on Earth itself. So all the 5 major challenges includes isolation. And during these analog missions, what we do is we close ourselves in an extreme environment for a certain period of time, and we get trained in extreme environments, either in deserts, under oceans, under volcanoes, in caves, whatnot. So these are few analog missions, one from Jordan, the other one from Iceland, and this is also from Jordan. So during my analog journey, I've been into ATC, geospace, and neutral BNC labs and IVO operations. Let me take you through one by one. AATC is an analog center that simulates Mars and lunar environment in Poland. So I was the youngest foreign analog astronaut to participate in this center representing India. So that's my crew. We are from different parts of the world. So here, if you can see, when we talk about space, people always think that space belongs to aerospace engineers. But in reality, none of us are from aerospace background. I'm from electronics communications background, and this guy is from aviation. Top right, she's from biomedicine, and then he's a veteran. Then she's a horse rider, but having a STEM degree. And then Alex, he is also a veteran in USA. So space is a diverse field. It's not anymore only for the engineers. It's for everyone, mainly for entrepreneurs. Then this is my few pictures from my analog mission. If you see my hand, that's my psychological state during the analog mission. The interesting part of this analog mission is we've been isolated for 14 days in a forest kind of area in a small house. We were never exposed to sunlight or moonlight, no internet, no mobile phone. And we are working with a crew that we never met before. So it's not 100% safe to put strangers in one room and lock for a certain period of time. So they take us to a lake, which is very cold, a cryogenic lake, and they'll put you in the lake and they'll start giving you different questions to check your psychological state. So that's a picture of our team doing the mission, and we perform so many emergency procedures, and we are not allowed to pee or poop directly into commode. So how much amount the water we are taking in will be counted, how much ever toilet you're letting out will be counted, how much food you're taking, how much food you're letting out, everything counts. The beginning days, every count will be very fine. The going forward, everything changes. Your mental state will completely affect your gut. Your digestive system will change everything. So this girl was banging the doors that she want to go out. And these analog missions will teach us the importance of team play and collaboration, because if one person breaks the analog mission, the entire crew have to face it. So everyone is going to fail. So we successfully made it, and then comes with Iceland geospace. So Iceland is a place where it mimics the Martian terrain and lunar terrains. So I believe everyone knows about Neil Armstrong, the first human to set foot on moon. And all the Apollo astronauts once got trained in this Iceland. And I'm the first Indian to get selected for this training and train alongside the people who've been trained for analog Apollo missions in 1960s. So if you see the picture, I'm standing in two different tectonic plates at a time. One is European plate, the other one is USA's plate. So this is the picture of Neil Armstrong and his crew doing their analog training. And this is the natural crater that formed. And the guy here seeing in the red jacket, he's the person who took pictures for Neil Armstrong when he's coming back to Earth and going to moon. Yes, that's my crew. And the small guy, you see, he's just 14 years old and he turned out to be an analog astronaut. And he's from USA. So these analog missions are, I just don't want to take you guys too much into technical. So these analog missions will help us to perform our experiments before going to space. This is like test beds to our experiments and our research programs. So there are different analog centers for every space agency. ISRO is now trying to build one in Ladakh and different places. So I'm also a graduate from International Institute of Astronautical Sciences. The uniform that I'm wearing is from that institute. And I'm graduated with my silver wings, proudly. And this is the simulation that will actually simulate the Virgin Galactic space flight. And that's me doing my high-G, low-G training, because becoming an astronaut is a mix of pushing your limits in all different ways. So this is a part of the training that I've graduated from IAS. And I've been up to positive 6.5G and negative 4G in my first flight. That's IVA suit. This suit we actually use during intravehicular activity. If there is an emergency or depressurization inside the spacecraft, we use this spacesuit. And yeah, that's my graduation again. And then comes with the scuba diving. So I'm a scuba diver. I'm one of the youngest advanced divers of India. So people always question me, you want to go to moon or you want to go to space, why you're exploring waters? Because water is the only place where we can closely mimic the microgravity. And every astronaut who wants to go to moon someday or space someday have to undergo training in the waters. So that's the reason I've started personally when I'm 17. By the time of 18, I'm an advanced diver from Scuba Schools of Internationals. So we also do ocean conservation, and he's Mr. Subhash Chandran. He's my scuba diving instructor, and he's the one who taught me about how to conserve oceans and replant corals, because coral life, tourists are literally spoiling corals these days. And no one is talking about. If there is no corals in water, there is no aquatic life, the entire ocean ecosystem is going to collapse. So it's our responsibility to spread awareness about the corals, the lungs of oceans. And the second picture that you're looking is the place where every astronaut get trained before they go to International Space Station. So this is an International Astronautical Congress, happens every year all over the world. It takes place in different countries. This year it happened in Australia. So it's a very good place to have good networking in space industry. Of course, you guys are not at all into it, but just in case. So when I talk about space, so to connect space with what you're talking today, sustainability. So in space, we recycle everything. Waste become our biggest resource and that becomes a survival, because the sweat we release will be our water the next day. The urine we are letting out will be recycled and given us as water. So everything matters, and imagine what we practice in analog habitats are the closed loop systems for sustainable life support systems or efficient material use. Everything plays the major role in a real mission. So I don't say doing an analog mission we can actually survive in space, but this will give you an understanding and perception on how isolation works and how to work in an isolated country. Because let's say I'm isolated in a forest, and if I bang the doors, I want to come out, I can break the mission and I can come out. But imagine you going up there in space, you don't know what is upright, and because it's zero gravity, you don't know how world working down below, and you have no option to bang the doors and come out. So you have to be prepared for the confinement, and that's the reason we perform this analog mission. And imagine if every product we created on Earth was designed the same way that we create for space. There is no problem of recycling or no problem of climate change, nothing. Because space, we are not spoiling every food we take. Everything has to qualify different levels of clearances. But on Earth, we don't value the resources that we are having at the moment. And that's the reason we are trying to build a different home, which is Mars. And people there are people who questions like, why you're trying to build Mars? Why don't you develop Earth? But at some point, let's say when sun completely blew up, the first 3 planets will go, and which includes Earth. And whatever the humanity we built till today shouldn't die here. So that's the reason we are trying to build a second home, which is Mars. And we don't say everyone on the Earth can be transported to Mars to live, but at least few people can carry forward the humanity or the technology that we built till today will actually take us forward and continue the life there. And this is not science fiction. That's the mindset we need for a sustainable future. And my journey wasn't easy coming from a normal town. It was always been a biggest roller coaster. And I've stayed away from my parents all my life. And it was always when I'm with different students or when I'm in a group of people, people always treat me as a weird human because I always talk about stars and going to different planet, and or they often treat me as an alien. But that doesn't stop me there, because all curiosity became my biggest best friend. And when someone criticizes or when someone discourage me, that actually fuels my dream. And that's how I'm standing here in front of you as an analog astronaut, scientist astronaut candidate, and a scuba diver, and trying to be one of the first Indians to set foot on Mars. And today I also do outreach for tribal women and unprivileged women. I go to them, I do STEM outreach activities alongside. I'm currently doing my pilot training. So today, as you discuss innovation, design, and transformation, remember that disruption doesn't start in lab or a boardroom. It starts with a question, a vision, and the courage to take the first step. And my journey began with curiosity and grew through persistence. Yours might begin with a question or a single idea. And let's break barriers in our mindsets, in our industries, in our business, and move forward, because success is for the people who dare to break the gravity, but not for the who follow the gravity. And thank you so much.